We've got a lot to get caught up around here, so we'll start off today and keep getting caught up a few more days into this week. So first of all, today I'm going to talk to you about getting sick when you're on a cruise. Next up, we need to talk about what's going on in Greece. An announcement by MSC, I think, expresses a lot of optimism. We need to talk about the EES, and we're also going to talk about 5 tips that I've got for you about Love Boat 2025 cruise, and I'll tell you about our journey home. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Monday. It is September 9th of 2024. We just got home on Saturday night late from the Love Boat cruise, and if you can hear a little bit in my voice, I did catch something when we were on board the cruise. I was just fine until yesterday. Yesterday I started not feeling very good. Last night didn't feel very well at all, but I'm bouncing back today. And so I wanted to talk about this for a minute because I don't really like to talk about getting sick when you're on a cruise. I know that it happens to people here and there. This is my 5th cruise this year and the very first time that I have caught anything. I did, for all of those out there who want to know if I caught COVID, it's not COVID, it's a cold. I checked and it's not COVID. And so I wanted to just have some things in mind as you travel. So first of all, you can get sick anywhere. You can get sick going to the grocery store, but you also have more of a chance of getting sick when you're on an airplane for a long time traveling somewhere than, of course, when you're in close quarters to anyone, whether you're in a hotel, whether you're on a cruise ship, whether you're on a tour bus. No matter how it is that you travel, you have a likelihood of getting sick. And so I wanted a likelihood of getting sick. It's not likely you're going to get sick. You have a chance of getting sick. So just keep that in mind as you travel. I'm not upset that I'm sick at all. I am really glad that I went last week, and if I had to have a cold, I would still go. And I just wanted to put that out there for everybody. I don't think that cruise ships are petri dishes. I think that people can catch germs on a cruise ship the same way they catch them on an airplane and other modes of transportation. So I noticed just looking at some general Facebook pages that other people got sick on the cruise, and it's okay. It's okay. We visited a lot of beautiful places. We met a lot of wonderful people. So just thought I would put that out there, let you know what's going on. We're not going to do a live tonight. For some lucky reason, Gordon didn't catch this, and so I'm not going to sit right next to him and breathe on him for an hour while we do that. So we will catch you on Friday for our live with a recap of Love Boat 2024. Looking forward to Love Boat 2025. As well as having a fun time talking about cruising. Now let's go ahead and talk about the exit-entry system. It's actually entry-exit system that is going to start in Europe starting November 10th of 2024. Now this is a different system that they've got going compared to that ETIAS, which is the European Travel Information and Authorization System. That is basically a travel authorization to visit European EU countries. This is a whole new process, and it really is, you know how they have the rule that if you are going to be in a Schengen country, if you are not from one of those countries, you can only be there for 90 days. This is going to make it easier for them to track people doing that, and it also is going to replace the stamping of passports, except for in Cyprus and in Ireland, in the countries that are in the EU. So starting on November 10th of 2024, you don't have to do anything before you go on your trip, but as you enter the countries there, they are going to note that you're there. I've been reading a lot about it. It sounds like some of them are going to use fingerprint. They'll still check your passport, but we'll see how this unfolds. This is going to be after Gordon and I go on our Mediterranean cruise this fall, and so we'll kind of be listening to hear how this actually looks as you enter, but it's supposed to be really quick. It's not supposed to be anything, it does not cost anything. It's just supposed to be so that they can keep better track of who is visiting their country and how long they're staying there. Because when you enter and you go between the different, go in and out of that system, it keeps track. So if you have questions about that, let me know. It's not It's not an electronic border, I wouldn't say, but they do keep track of you as you come and go, which they were doing with your passport anyway, but this is just kind of, I think overall, a better system. It should make it so that it's you should be able to enter the countries, it sounds like to me, more quickly and be processed more quickly. And like I said, I'll keep you up to date. I told Gordon that we should book a cruise, not a cruise, I don't know about a cruise to Europe, after November 10th, but I told him we should go somewhere before the end of the year. I don't know if that's going to work out, but if it does, I'll take you with us. Now, that ETIAS that we have talked about a lot is still pending for the first half of 2025. That is the best date that I have seen so far, first half of 2025. So when they release more information about that, I'll let you know about it. I'll let you know about the process. It doesn't sound like it's going to be hard at all. Should be really easy to do, but I'll let you know about that once we've got a firm date and everything about that's going to roll out. Alrighty. Now let's talk for a minute about Greece. I mentioned it in my video the other day when we were on board the ship, and on Sunday, just yesterday, the Prime Minister of Greece talked about the over-tourism that they are trying to manage. And some of the things that they are looking at doing, for example, is having a higher tax on vacation rentals in central Athens and not allowing any more real estate to be turned into vacation rentals in order to allow more housing for the residents who live there. But they are also looking at what they're going to do with islands that have a lot of tourism from cruise ships, as well as, of course, people flying in, people visiting on ferries. They are talking about really increasing the docking fees for cruise ships to come to those locations, as they specifically spoke about Mykonos and Santorini. They are also looking at putting out a €20 per person tax to anyone all of the tourists who are going to come and visit their islands, especially off of cruise ships, since so many people come at one time on cruise ships. They've already talked about limiting the number of cruise ships that they're going to allow into port each day, and they'll look at that kind of on how many passengers are on each kind of ship, and then decide how many they will let come that day. So as you look at all of this, the things that really stand out to me about this is it's clearly going to become a lot more expensive to visit these locations, and there are going to be fewer cruises going there. So since we're not going to have quite as many cruises visiting these locations, those cruises are going to cost more. And now, another factor that I also thought of, and what I really think would be very nice, is if we could have cruise ships visit a little bit more throughout the year rather than focusing on the high season. The high season is so very busy there, and it's when they get most of their tourists. The peak season is truly June and July. Those are the months that they get the very most. But I noticed, and this is like moving, the transatlantics are coming sooner and sooner from the United States to move ships to Europe. This year on February 18th, and that is early, the Majestic Princess is going to take her transatlantic to go to Europe. And so if you think about some of those locations, it would be beautiful to be able to visit Santorini, Mykonos, other ports in Greece, as well as other ports in Europe during those months that aren't the high season. So I'm wondering if we're going to see a little bit more of that. So of course we'll just have to keep our eye on it, but I wanted you to keep this in mind. If going to Greece is on your bucket list and you have never been there, I would say if you can do it as soon as you can do it, because it's really hard to know what this is going to look like moving forward. Another thought that I always say, go when you can go, because you don't know what's going to change in your life, but also you don't know what's going to change like in the whole geopolitical thing going on. When you look at how close Greece is there in the Mediterranean, and her neighbors there to the east, she's not very far off from where they're having a lot of trouble right now. And so just kind of keep in mind to do things when you can do them, because it's not always if you have enough money to go or enough time to go. It's what's going on in different regions that make it so that you can go. So let me know down below, answer in the comments if you have been to Greece, put yes or no, and say if you want to go. And if you would like to share more than that, I would love to read about it. So thank you. Now, in conjunction with what's going on in Greece there, so the island of Crete there in the Mediterranean has a couple of major cruise ports. One is Hania and the other one is Heraklion. Those are the two main ports where cruise ships go. And I came across a story today as I was thinking about all this going on with Greece, that they, in the port there just of Heraklion, They are up substantially in the number of guests that they have had come from cruise ships this year. So when you consider the number of cruise passengers visiting the port there of Heraklion from 2023 to 2024 for the months of July and August, they saw an 82.34% increase from the number of guests in 2023 to 2024. So clearly that's huge. I'm always telling you here that if I could choose which port I would go to there in Crete, I would always pick Heraklion because there is so much more there to see. But Hania is not bad by any means, and you can always take a bus over to go to the Palace of Knossos or to go to the museum there as well as see other things. But I just thought I would throw that out there in the way that maybe the entire region is going to try to perhaps limit a little bit how many cruise passengers come. So when you think about your travel planning, keep that in mind. And then in addition to that, the MSC Euribia has opened their cruises for the winter season 2025-2026, and they are going to be returning to offer cruises from Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Doha. Now, as they offer these and they move between, they're often up in Northern Europe is where this ship has been sailing. As they come down, they will have people allow guests to embark in different ports like Southampton and Civitavecchia there by Rome as they come around to offer these cruises. And then they are offering, as part of their whole cruise season, the 2025-2026, they are going to have cruises that go into the Red Sea as well as a crossing of the Suez Canal. So I feel like with them offering these cruises, they have a lot of optimism for how things are going to pan out in the region there, and hoping it sounds like things will get more stable, which we all hope for. Cruising set aside, of course, we wish that things would get better there. So we will be keeping our eye on how things go with the MSC Euribia as well as other cruise lines when they start offering more itineraries to that region of the world again. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, will you please hit that subscribe button? I really appreciate you coming with us, and I think you're going to enjoy being part of this amazing community. Also, if you appreciate my updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up? Thanks so very much. Alrighty, so let me tell you really quickly, and this goes a little bit when I was talking to you about how easy it is to get sick when you're traveling to go on a cruise, as well as being on a cruise. When we were trying to come home on from JFK on Saturday afternoon, our flight was supposed to leave at about 4:30. So we were getting on the plane. I guess it was supposed to leave at 4:30 because we were getting on at about 4 o'clock, and we ended up arriving in Salt Lake City at about 10:20 JFK time. And so a flight that takes 3 hours and 50 minutes, we were on the ground the rest of the time waiting for Delta to iron something out. And then there were thunderstorms, and so there was a huge backup in flights trying to take off. So we got in the long line of planes awaiting takeoff, and finally got to go. And so we, instead of just sitting on the plane for like 4 hours or a little over 4 hours, we were on the plane about 7 hours. And so that can also contribute to getting sick. Now, I want to tell you, we had the very best time on the Love Boat Cruise. If you missed my video the other day, make sure you catch it. We had a vow renewal on Friday and lots of fun things going on. That entire cruise was spectacular. So here are the 5 things I want you to know about Love Boat 2025. And I'll be thinking of more, but here's what really stands out to me that you need to know today. So first of all, if you want to go on Love Boat 2025, you need to book it right away. I have a feeling it's going to be very popular, and it's going to be an amazing cruise. The second thing is pay attention when you get on board. If you want to do that vow renewal, they did it a lot differently this time compared to last time. In 2022, they had it so that anyone wanted to come could just come and stand in Piazza, participate all together doing that. This time, you actually had to fill out a form and then get the card, give the card in to RSVP that you would be there, and then it was really just a very, very organized vow renewal. They called your name, you walked in, you sat down, and repeated the vows. And that was something that I think it was really a fluke that I stumbled on during the cruise. So if you really want to do the vow renewal, and I'm going to do it this time and keep you all up to date, but you need to start asking at guest services about how they are going to run that, because they didn't release any information about that before the cruise. So stay on top of it for the vow renewal. The third thing is is really kind of think about what experience you want to have with the cast members of the Love Boat TV show on this cruise. So what they included for everyone is on the first sea day and the last sea day, they had events in the Princess Theater where the cast of the TV show were there, talked about some memories, fun things that they remembered both days. After that, there was a photo op that you could stand in line for however long it took to have your photos with them. That was available to everyone. Okay, and they ran the fun reruns of the Love Boat TV show up on Movies Under the Stars. They had some mocktails and, it's kind of like cocktails and one mocktail available that were named for themes that come along with the Love Boat cruise, and of course anybody could order those. But if you want to have a more in-depth experience with the cast members, this time in that package that was $450. They had a cocktail party, they had a dinner, and I have it on the best authority that it was a really great dinner. People were seated there in the Amalfi dining room, but the cast members got up and walked around, talked to people. So if you want that, as well as the Love Boat Love Boat t-shirt that goes with it, and a signed photo, things like that, then you better sign up for that package, because otherwise those things that I already told you about, that's the extent of your involvement with the cast members. So thought I would throw that out there. Of course, every once in a while people would bump into them on the ship. Gordon saw who did he saw? He saw Isaac and Gopher walking along one day, and he of course didn't stop them, but he just said thanks for being here, so that was really nice. But just wanted you to kind of think in advance of what kind of experience you want. So as of right now, Princess doesn't have it so that you can book an extra package, but I am sure that when we get closer they'll be doing that again, because it seems like it was a great success for everyone that wanted to do it. Even if you don't, number 4, even if you're not crazy about the Love Boat, even if you're not even familiar with what the Love Boat TV show is, it's a really fun cruise, because you know what? Fun people love the Love Boat TV show, and it was just such a fun cruise. Everyone really, I think, had a fun time together, and everything from watching the cast members in the Princess Theater to the live sail away. That was, of course it was a live sail away. We're all alive. But the whole thing was really, really special. Like I said, even if you don't want to have anything to do with the TV show, the funnest people were on that cruise. And to me, I would say that even more than usual, there was just like this special bond with everybody who was on the cruise. Of course, our group was even more special than that and a whole different thing. But just in visiting with the different people who were on the cruise, I would just say it was extra special. So if you want to go on a fun cruise with a really special kind of atmosphere and vibe going on, the Love Boat cruise is a really good one for that. And number 5, Galveston. So the Love Boat Cruise 2025 is going to be sailing out of Galveston. If you didn't know the dates, it's November 16th, 2025, but it's sailing out of Galveston. Quite some time ago, I did a video about all these things that you can see in Galveston, and it is worth a second glance. And so if you are someone and you've got extra time on your hands, you might want to fly in a day or two early and go sightseeing in Galveston. I'm not going to have time to do it this time, but another time I am going to go early to Galveston and do a lot of sightseeing and just completely just soak up that whole thing that Galveston is. It's a really special place. So there's some tips for you. Let me know if you have ever been to Galveston. Put that in the comments. Anything you would like us to know about that. And if you're going on the Love Boat cruise, I've got a group. So if you want to come with us, send me an email at letsgotraveltips@gmail.com. It's just letsgotraveltips, just like it sounds, at gmail.com. I'll look forward to hearing from you all. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.